Hello, welcome back to the Spider's Web, and in this video we're going to be continuing with our painting of Odysseus, and this is how we've got him so far. As you can see, the green wash that we gave him is made quite a nice looking shadow detail on these, so what we're going to do is just carry on painting. We've got the highlighting and everything else to do, so let's get on with it, shall we? First off, skin tone, and we'll just dampen our brush and using the Bugman's Glow that we use for the skin tone, and all we need to do is just add this colour to the raised areas of the skin. There's the nose, the cheekbones, musculature. There we go, just make a point of everywhere that is going to be raised. I'm even going to do here as well. It may, we may not be highlighting further some areas, but the this colour will actually give it the actual base colour of the skin. Don't forget my drift. So if you do certain bits of the skin tone with this, even if you don't, it will show that this is the actual colour of the skin, and we're not mistaking the highlight for the natural colour, if you get me drift. I hope you do. There we are. And finally, for example here, the legs look a little, the skin tone of the legs looks a little wrong, but as soon as you put this on, it looks about right. Now if we don't highlight it, it looks as though it's in shadow. There we are. So this being the only highlights, this gives the mid-tone. So basically what we've done, we started off with primed it with one colour, then we've put a coat of this colour on, and then we've washed it to make it darker. So we have the dark parts of the skin, which is what was on before we added this shade, and then we've added this shade which gives a lighter look to the skin, but this is just the mid-tone, so this will give the actual colour of the skin, and the dark tones, the shadows, and then the highlights, or then the lighter tone will be the highlights. So that's how it works. I hope you understand that. Right, is that anything I can use? No, I don't think it is now. That's dried up a little bit too much, I think. Okay, I know I didn't use much of this colour, but we're going to use it again. I can't remember what colours I used for it, but I'm just going to add it to this little leather skirt thingy he's wearing. Again, cannot for the life remember what it's called, but not to worry. and then we'll just add it. There we are. Next, we have the, what colour was this used for? I think this was the colour that we used for the spear, wasn't it? So we'll just add a little bit more there. Now I'm not using this on all the areas of the spear. There we go. That won't do for that. Also, I think I used it for the gloves as well, didn't I? But I don't want to use it for that. We'll use a different colour for the gloves. Next, the copper areas. I'm going to do that again with the Hashrut copper. Not the Hashrut copper, the Warpot bronze. I'm just going to just touch up a few areas. And anywhere that's metal will do this. And next we'll just run over the shield. I don't want to do the face of the shield because I want that a different colour altogether. But there we are. That will do. Make sure we've got all the shield areas covered. I don't want that back bit. In fact, yeah, let's get this back bit done. That's going to be a different colour, so I'm not really fussed about that too much. Next, the green cape, and for that I want a nice mid-tone green, and I think oh, now where are you? Walbross green. I think that might do the job quite adequately. I could always mix in a little bit of the Caliban green if it's too pale, which looking at it now on here I think it may be. But you never know. We'll just give the brush a wash out and we'll go into the Warboss green and let's see how it looks. It is a little bit too, in fact I need to go over, in fact I think Warboss green will be a better one to use for the time being. And we'll just add nice colour all the way on the raised areas. Just like so. And Maybe we can come and lighten it afterwards with the wall boss green. I think this might be a better option. There we go. I'll just make sure that all of the raised areas are covered with this Caliban green. Now, I'm trying to see what I'm looking at here, and I find it quite difficult to do so. But not to worry. I'll just make sure that everywhere that is going to be in the light gets a covering with this green, and even if it means going back adding more to it, because the more you add, the lighter and stronger the colour looks. And there we go. I'll just make sure that anywhere that we'll be using this for in fact I want to add a touch of the wall boss green in, and a touch more, just to make it that little bit lighter still, and we'll add we can then, what's the word I'm looking for? Once this dries, we can always come back and add much paler colours to it to make it stand out a little more. But as it stands, it's looking quite nice as is. Hope you can see the colour differences there. Making a point of trying to get it on the raised areas here as well. And there we go. There we have the animated cape. As I say, we'll come back to that a little bit later. Next we have the gloves to do, and the gloves we're going to do in what colour? I'm going to add some of the Bugman's Glow into this colour. Put a little bit of that green in as well. There we are. Hopefully that looks a little paler. It seems to be. I'll just get rid of some of the paint off the brush. And and just spend a little bit of time trying to pick out the details on the gloves, just like so, and making sure that we don't cover everywhere that needs doing. Hopefully that will do. Next, I think we're going to have to do the rest of the metal, and for that we're going to be using Hashut copper, which is this colour. We've used it before, you've seen it before, so you don't need the big introduction for it. So what I need to do is get my dry brush and I'm going to do a little bit on the glove because it looks as though he has a metal thing on his glove there. And that, and now just on the helmet. Just like so. And I'm going to now go over the shield in this colour. Now, unlike the Spartan shield, I don't want this like a pale coloured shield with red. I know it's a similar logo, but I wanted a fairly darker coloured shield. In fact, you know, I've changed my mind on that one as well. I don't want to do it that way. Right, so I've decided what I'm going to do with that, but I'll do that when it's dried. Next we have the axe handle to paint. In fact, I'm going to do that with a little bit of that wood mixture mixed in with some of the mixture that we used for the cape. That's that done. Now the axe handle, which is going to be Stormhost Silver. And I'm going to put a bit of this on once it's shaken up. Again, this one seriously needs some shaking done to it. So I'll pop some of this on the palette. And I'm just going to touch here and there along some of the upper parts of the metal areas, but that won't do for that. And now what I'm going to do is, in with the silver colour, I'm going to use some of that Warboss green. I think we've done this before in a different video. And I'm just going to go straight down with this. and that will do. It's a battered shield, I don't want it to be too pristine. I'm going to go over a few areas again with the whatchamacallit, Warplot Bronze. Dampen the brush somewhat, not too much, get into the Warplot Bronze. Oh yeah, and we'll just go into these little crevices. We don't want them shoving up, or we don't want them blending in. We want these to look as though they are gouged into the shield. There we go. That's more just a little dint rather than a gouge. There we go. And I'm going to just touch along the edge. Oh no, not with that one, because I want that done with hash-up copper. Sorry. So we've got the hash-up copper out, and we'll just go along some edges. We've caught it with that silvery green colour, just to make sure that the edge stands out from the face of the shield. Just like so. There we are, and when we've got this out, we'll go along the V. I'm going to get some more paint on the brush, just need to wet the brush a little bit. And it doesn't feel as though it's coming off terribly well. Oh well, keep trying. It may just be the fact that this is quite a water. The metallic paints from GW seem to be quite watery. I don't know if there's a reason for that. And I'm just going to apply the paint a little bit thicker than I normally would as I pick out this colour. So there we are. That's that. Now what we're going to do is, using corn red, which is that colour. Oops, nearly drops everything. Again, not much on the brush. We're just going to touch up with some of these areas for this. Leather skirt thing. I don't want to make it look too brown. So that is brown. I'm also going to do the grip here on the bow. There we go, and also do a little bit on the areas there as well, just to pick them out, make them stand out a touch, and that hopefully will sort that out. Next, I'm just going to wipe a little bit of it off and just gently brush onto here and wipe off, just to have that little hint of a colour. Don't want it too strong. There we are. Wipe off. Karate Kid routine, wax on, wax off. With this it's paint on, paint off. There we are. Right, next we're going to be going back to the skin tone, and into the skin tone that we already used, we're going to be adding a little bit of a paler skin tone colour, which will be Kislev Flesh. So I'll just get some of that on the palette. You can see that a little bit of the Bugman's glow there as well. And get the brush to a point before we just touch onto certain, not every area. Of skin tone. I want to pick and choose here because we want to show the ones that are in the light rather than the ones that are still slightly in shadow. There we go. So forehead, nose, the higher part of the cheekbone, there we go. We're not touching the legs because, as we said before, they're in shadow, but we'll just touch up a little bit here on the arm. There we go. And that's how it works. Yeah, we'll come back and put another brighter highlight on that a little bit later. Now, going back to the cape, I want to add more of this pale green in with what we have left of what we used before, and we'll just add a very thin line there. just make sure that anywhere that is going to be in the light is going to get a covering with this. I found this technique, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There we are. Next, not going too mad on the shoulders there. We just want it going on the very, very higher points. There we are. Now, what I want to do is using our dry brush. I'm a bit wary of this now, but it's going to have to be done because I couldn't do it beforehand. What I'm going to do is, as I say, using the dry brush and some Flash Kitsch yellow. Okay. And I want to go over this trim around the bottom, or around the edges of the cape. I'm trying to be as careful as I possibly can with this because I don't want this yellow paint going everywhere. It doesn't have to be too strong. I don't think I've got it as strong as I'd like in some areas, so I'm going to get a smaller brush and just go over again the areas I didn't manage to get to. There we go. And now, what else needs to be done? The leather belts and straps that he has. Going back to the corn red, I'm going to get some of that on the palette, some of this colour into it, a little bit more. There we are. So we'll just add a few little lines along that one and along that one, and the flights need doing. I'm going to add a little bit of this highlighted flesh tone into there as well. In fact, no, I want to add a little bit of that green colour, and that will do a nice colour for the axe pouch. There we go. And Now I've just noticed something else I need to do. I'm going to add, using the helmet cover for the cape. No, it's not going to work. It's a little too watery, that one. What colour can we use instead? Oh God, let's go back to the flash, it's yellow. And we'll just touch on the tips of the skirt thing where there's these little design. I'll touch on that. One thing I have missed as well, going back into the Stormhost Silver, I'm going to just highlight a little bit on the armour. And then paint that. Now there's not much left to do. So the next colour we're going to use is Evil Sun Scarlets. Can you tell me where that's for? Yes, the crest on his helmet. And we'll just slap the paint on. Just like so. Bum, 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 bum. Make sure you don't paint the helmet as well. This is just for the crest. And there we go. In fact, we'll not just do it the crest, we'll also do the fletching on the arrows as well. And there we go. That's that bit done, and next we will do his beard, and for that I don't want to use black, but I'm going to use very dark grey, and that very dark grey is Ashen Grey. So do his beard. Just like so. The position of this is quite tricky. But, oh well, never mind. There's the beard done. Next what we want to do is highlight the crest, if it's dry, which it looks to be. To highlight the crest and just touch up on the boots there. But for the boots, well, I'm saying boots, it's a sandal. For that, I'm just going to go over with a touch of the mix we used for the whatchamacallit, what was it we used this colour for? Can't remember. Oh, my brain switched off. I can't remember what I used that colour for. It was for something. It was probably for one of these leather straps or something. Oh well, we have it for that as well. What we also need to do is just touch up, or not touch up, but actually do the highlighting on his toes, because I forgot about that earlier. I'll just do that now. Oh yeah. And just for the sake of brightening things up, just a little bit, and I mean a little bit, of the Kislev flesh. And get the brush to a nice sharp points, and just touch here and there. And that will bring out the highlights and make the whole miniature just come alive. Oh, yeah. And there we have Odysseus. One small point, in fact a couple of small points I need to do first before I carry on, because I've just noticed I missed them. Back to the Eshin Grey. Okay. So we'll just do his eyebrows. Oh yeah. Now, I'm not going to highlight them because there's not much point, but I am going to highlight the beard, and that I'm going to highlight with Administratum Grey, which is that colour. And just a little bit on the brush, dry it off, and there we go. And then the last thing we need to do, as I said, is highlight the whatchamacallit, highlight the crest, and for that we're going to use Troll Slayer Orange. and it's just a case of there we go. And there is Odysseus in all his glory. Just going to put a little bit of the Jocelyn orange on there as well. But that is him done. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, as always, take care, God bless, and bye for now.